Well, it's official. Kyler Murray to be released the first day of the new league year. Surprising? Not really, but the end is here, and it feels kind of weird. Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Cardinals. This was supposed to be my 6 p.m. show, but I now am doing it right now. We've got the Cardinal Squad show in 2 hours, but Kyler Murray, breaking news, set to be released the first day of the new league year. This isn't a surprise, really, but, the breakup is officially over. I talked about the anxiety meter with all of the things that the Cardinals still had to do on that list. And, check the box, Mike LaFleur, check the box, coordinators. Check the box. Now, Kyler Murray. So Kyler's set to make a boatload of cheese over the next couple of years. He has free reign to find a place to go find his next home. And the best part about this is, in my opinion, it wasn't a toxic situation. It wasn't toxic. For people that say it's toxic, it's not. It's lazy. It was indifference. And indifference is worse than toxic. Indifference is worse than bad. Because while it's the cleanest, indifference shows, there was no way he was coming back next year. And I look like a huge idiot at this point, thinking the Cardinals could have got high draft capital for him. I talked about that, 2 months ago at this point. But the Cardinals are going to save some cheese after this year. There's going to be no lingering ripples like, oh, everybody wished he would come back, but there were some off-the-field issues, so they got to let him go. No. This is the best for all parties involved. This is the best for all parties involved. So for this double dip here, this second show today, I'm going to take you across memory lane, okay? We're going to talk about the positives that Kyler Murray instilled with this team over the last 7 years. And yes, fleeting, sure, but there were some great moments, okay? Let's go back week 1 of his rookie year. At home, Detroit Lions, they were down double digits at halftime. The offense looked terrible. Cliff Kingsbury said he thought he was going to get fired at halftime. And then Kyler Murray, like he's done his entire career, is put the team on his back, threw a couple touchdowns in the second half, went to overtime, and where Tremaine Brock missed interception with the ball that hit him on the chest plate, then hit the ground, which would have been an interception on the Detroit Lions side of the field, from a win. And now, that was a tie. That was the first time we saw Kyler Murray. And no, Sean, it's hot as hell in Arizona. I just was going for a run, and then this happened, so I had to come back in. I digress. Then you have the Hail Murray, which was great, okay? You have the week 2 matchup on the road in Vegas, where the Cardinals were, again, down multiple scores. And Kyler Murray brought them back to a tie in overtime, and it ended with, I believe, a Byron Murphy scoop and score for a touchdown. The 7-0 season, the 10-2, and then, that's just the flashball memories. That's the flashball memories. All of the little plays that he made that would make people's heads spin like a top. Third and long conversion with his legs. The patented fadeaway from the pocket, throwing it over the top of the safety. And, for Christian Kirk scoring 3 touchdowns against Tampa Bay. Him and DeAndre Hopkins. Him and Trey McBride. The 2 touchdown passes to Marv last year. The multiple touchdown passes to Marv in 2024. Here's the thing. Yes, it was a, quote, failed experiment, if you want to say that. And it's an experiment because Cliff Kingsbury never coached before. Nobody was taking Kyler Murray number 1 overall. People thought he was going to play baseball, and Steve Keim had to save his job. So he's like, let's see how this works. It's not going to matter to me because I'm going to be fired because I'm a terrible GM, but let's see what happens. And there were so many fun, exciting moments that other teams would yearn for over the last year. Sure, the injuries. He tore his ACL, and then he was out even longer this past year with, his foot injury, and then, whatever happened in the second half of the season. I'm not going to look back at the Kyler Murray years and say, Kyler Murray was the absolute reason why the Cardinals failed. He's a part of it. Everybody's a part of it. I also think, and maybe this is me being short-sighted, this is maybe revisionist history, but I don't think it is. Kyler Murray was never coached properly the entirety of the time he was here. He was never coached properly. And what I mean by that is he had to learn on the fly on his own. Now, Cliff added some help, I'm sure. You know, it wasn't just fruit baskets at practice and 15-minute cell phone breaks. But Kyler Murray and his progression of talent from year one to this past year showed a wildly talented and smart individual who had the natural progression of getting reps in the NFL, which anybody would have with his talent level. He didn't get the coaching that would have raised those valleys and made them dissipate a lot more than what we saw. Because when push comes to shove, Kyler Murray was a top 10 quarterback or a bottom 5 quarterback, and you never knew which one you were going to get depending on the drive. It's not a slight, it's not a knock, just the truth. It's what we witnessed for 7 years. So, where are the Cardinals now? Are there going to be any sort of buyer's remorse or seller's remorse, releaser's remorse going into next season because Kyler Murray is no longer part of the team and the Cardinals could struggle next year from the quarterback position? It's a very important discussion. I know it's very early, but we'll discuss it next. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by TurboTax. It's tax time, but for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is a lot. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers, emailing back and forth and wondering if they really get your situation. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve, while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. And it's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. Head to turbotax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. That is turbotax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is also brought to you by Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadline stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need to find the right hire, this is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you find the right people quickly that you're looking for with the right skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute that I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And in listeners of this show, we'll get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get you the premium status. You get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Finally, this episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop, big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn your energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any college hoop parlay you want, rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits your fancy. You can mix spreads, totals, and player props to match how you see the slate playing out, and then you can apply the profit boost and instantly bump up the potential payout. So go safe, go bold, ride with the team you've been following all season, whatever you want. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. YouTube channel, subscribe, Big Dumb Face every day, twice. Kyler Murray released first day of the new league year. What now? Could do a whole show on Kyler Murray. I will do a lot more on tomorrow's show. We've got the Cardinal Squad show in 2 hours. But it's important to see what now. Because this was going to happen in some form or fashion. He was going to be traded. He was going to be, let go, whatever it is. And now, what? Will there be releaser's remorse? Will there be releaser's remorse? No. This is unequivocal for me. Say he goes and signs with Minnesota. I don't know how that would work because they're negative $1 billion under the cap, but that seems to be a hot button name, or Atlanta. And they win the Super Bowl next year. Still no remorse. It's over. It's expired. Dane Cook had a great joke that I go back from time to time where it's like, why don't people break up like this? two people sitting on a couch, you look at each other, you're like, it's over, isn't it? High five and go your way. That's what this was. There's no blame pie. I do think that Kyler Murray was severely hindered by the Cliff Kingsbury experience. I truly do. Kyler had something to do with it, had a lot to do with it as well. But I think that if you don't have a real head coach that can coach a quarterback at the NFL level, because Cliff Kingsbury never did that for a second, that was a hindrance for sure. But if he wins elsewhere, this isn't going to be look at Kyler, that's good for you. People are automatically looking at, Cardinals screwed it up again. I think it was both. But also, the less polarizing version of this is with the indifference probably, sparked by him not playing after week 5 of last year, is like, doesn't matter. He was cool. He was here. Hopefully he goes wins, but I don't care either way. I root for everybody's success. I don't root for anybody's downfall. But this isn't like a Paul Goldschmidt situation where it's like, go get him, Goldie. You go win that because the Diamondbacks are too cheap to pay you more than $40 million over 4 years. I think that's what he got after his rookie deal, if my memory serves me. It's not that. It's not Calais even, when they wouldn't give him 3-year, $30 million or whatever it was, and then Jacksonville gave him a whole boatload more, and he was fringe all-pro for the next 4 or 5 years there in Baltimore. It's not that. And it's weird because it's a quarterback, so it should be that. A homegrown quarterback should be that, where it's like, you know what? Go get him, kid. Go get him, dude. Cardinals failed you. Go get him. It's not that. Blame pie, let's say 50-50. Let's say 50-50. But you're not going to miss him either, which is the weird part. You'll miss the excitement. You'll miss those plays where only Kyler Murray could make, 100%. You're going to miss his calm demeanor. I'm telling you. I will miss his calm demeanor. Some people saw it as a weakness. They saw it from day one. I know the Dan Patrick thing was weird before the draft, but him being quiet and playing video games isn't a weird thing, okay? No DUIs, no club until 4 a.m. I'd much rather take this. Maybe he's not an inherent leader. Some people growing up and all the way through high school and college are just the best player on the field, and they never built that leadership quality. You don't slight him for that. With all that said, though, you're not going to miss him, and that's not a bad thing, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you're going to miss Kyler Murray. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not. And this isn't like yes, let's talk crap about Kyler Murray now that he's gone. It's not that either. It's just we're not going to miss him. And I think right now that puts the Cardinals in a very good spot where even if he does go win playoff games next year, that's not a thing that makes you think that the Cardinals should have kept him, in my opinion. I'm gonna miss the highlight plays. I'm gonna miss, his kind of, he's got a great sense of humor. Like, he's a quiet dude. His presence, you miss it. Like, the confidence is there. But the other problems, let's do this. Jacoby Brissett last year. Different problems, but the ceiling was a bit higher. The floor was a bit higher. The ceiling wasn't, but the floor was. So you're going to be seeing a higher floor, probably a lower ceiling right out the gate. And depending on Malik Willis, if they bring him in and he's terrible, I still don't think that that's a reason to bring Kyler Murray back. Well, you're going to pay him $30 million. Why wouldn't you just pay Kyler Murray? I understand that argument from a rational and civil and C-level, just stance. I understand it. The milk's expired. It's time. It was time to move on. You high five. Best of luck, dude. See you later. I'm happy that the Cardinals did this now instead of waiting until the second before. They knew that they bungled any chance to trade him. And when it came to I'll send you home with a critical thinking problem. If the Cardinals won 7 games last year and they still got to this point, Jonathan Gannon got fired, Drew Petzing left, everything happened, and they won 7 games or 6 games, and he played the whole year, would it have been easier to trade him? I don't think so. It's obviously how you lose those games if they're close, whatever it is, whatever it may be. But I think the best chance the Cardinals had to trade him was the fact that he didn't play for the entirety of the season. I know there was injury there, of course, but injuries happen. I think if he played, it would have been harder to trade him. So if they couldn't trade him now, they weren't going to be able to trade him if he played. So Kyler Murray officially will be released the first day of the new league year. The Cardinals will save the roster bonus. They'd have to pay him. They would have had to pay him on March 15th. They were never going to pay that, so it was either going to be a trade or a release. And now, Arizona Cardinals 3.0 begins. How many .0s do I have to do? Damn it. Going to year 10, it's like Arizona Cardinals 96.0. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. This is going to be the second dip. I mean, if I knew this was happening, I wouldn't have done the first show this morning. Thanks for hanging out. Cardinal Squad Show, 4 o'clock. We will talk much more in depth about this with Jamil Douglas and Ben Garcia, as well as me. And remember, without you, there is no me. I will talk to the Cardinal Squad Show, and then tomorrow morning for mine.